Morning, it's Richard, PGS Services. We're in sunny Kingston, just about to do a gas safety certificate. Just going to check the ladies' appliances, make sure they're all safe. Here we go. So, we're just going to turn the pilot light off because we need to go and test for tightness. Testing for tightness is just making sure there's no gas leaks in the property or around the meter. So the reason we turn the pilot light off is because otherwise it's going to show that there's a leak. Okay, that's done. Let's go and test for tightness. We're just going to turn the gas off now from the emergency control valve. Right, so the first test we do is a let-by test, where we raise the pressure to around about 10 millibars, then we leave it for a minute or so, make sure it doesn't go up. That's going to tell us that the emergency control valve isn't letting by when it's shut off. Obviously in an emergency, this is where the customer's going to turn the gas off, so if it is letting by, that's a problem and we'd have to get it changed. So now we've tested for let by, that's fine, it's very rare you get any let by. And now we're going to repressurise it up to 20 millibar. And we're going to leave that for 2 minutes and make sure the pressure doesn't drop. And that's going to tell us that there's no leaks in the property. While we're waiting for the 2 minutes, while that's on test, I'm going to check everything else, make sure everything else is up to standard. So on this one, on the label, there's no phone number for emergencies, i.e. National Grid's number. So that's classed as a not to current standards. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write the number on there with a pen, and that's going to tick that box. Also, I'm going to be checking for earth continuity bonding, and this one is perfect. It's got it there. It's got to be within 600 mil from the outlet, and this one is, so that's nice. That ticks another box. Just passed the tightness test, no drop at all. Now we can turn the gas back on. We'll go and test the boiler. So where I turned the plug off, I've noticed that it's on a 3-pin plug, and that was alright back in the day, but nowadays you've got to have a fuse spur. So it's just classed as not to current standard, so it's still safe to use, but it's just something we've got to note down on the ticket. So we've just done the tightness test, and now we've got to come back and turn the pilot light on. And with these boilers, it's an old-fashioned clicker type, so we have to push this button in, that releases the gas. The gas is coming out now, and then I click this button and there it's lit in that window there. And we just hold this down for 10 seconds or so, and then we can let it go. The pilot light should stay alight. Right, so the first thing I normally like to do is check the burner pressure, and at the same time kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I want to check the combustion readings from a test point. That's if the test point's inside, which this one is, luckily. That means I can do 2 things at once. So I've attached the U gauge. This is going to test the burner pressure. I'm now going to attach the combustion analyzer. This is the test point. That's coming out nice and easy. So that's ready to go, Just going to turn the hot tap on, so that's going to give us the maximum burner pressure, and that's what we want to test it at. Okay, so that's good. We've got 15 millibar on the U gauge, which is what it should be. That's the maximum it should be on the hot water. It tells us that on the data badge, so that's correct. We've got a ratio of 0.0002, which is very good. It's got to be anything under 40 to pass. Well, actually anything under 80, but you know, if it's over 40, then you're looking, there might be a problem. But anyway, that's all good. So, job done. Right, okay, so done the paperwork, apart from one thing, still got to check the terminal position, which is outside. So we're going to have to walk round, have a look, make sure it's okay. This is the terminal, so we have to check the position, make sure it's up to standards. Now this one is within 300mm of an openable window, which is again classed as not to current standards, so still safe to use, but you know, and also it's quite high up, it's never going to get in the window, so we're just going to note it down as a not to current standards. If this was under the window, then I might be inclined to maybe put it as an at risk, because then the fumes could get straight into the kitchen, but yeah. Right, so we're just finishing up with the boiler now. As I mentioned earlier, it's on a 3-pin plug, which is not to current standards. So obviously when we tell the landlord about this, we're going to send her an email with the gas safety certificate, and I'm just going to take a picture of it just so she can see what I'm talking about when I tell her that it needs a fuse spur. Okay? Right, now we're going to test the cooker, my favourite. So we need to pull it out, make sure it's got a stability bracket or a stability chain, and then also we're just going to test the burners and test the thermostat, just make sure it's all safe. So that's great, we've got a chain, that's another box ticked. The cooker hose is tucked behind that cupboard, so the bayonet fitting is going to be behind that cupboard, which is going to be a not to current standards, so I'm just going to have a look, make sure it's all safe, and make a note of it. So now we're going to just test the burners, make sure they're working on high and low flame. So that's high flame, all working nicely, got nice blue flames. And then we're going to turn them all down to low flame, make sure they don't go off. Sometimes the flame will go completely out, but there'll still be gas coming out. And that's when we have to adjust the gas pressures to the burners. But these ones are all good, so nothing for me to do. So now we're doing the same thing with the oven. You have to keep this pushed down for 10-15 seconds just until the flame takes to the thermocouple, and then once the thermocouple knows the flame's on, we can let this out. Thermocouple is like a safety device that it just senses that there's a flame there. So if there's not a flame there, obviously you're going to have gas coming out with no flame, and that's dangerous. So a thermocouple is basically a safety device. It just senses that there's a flame there, it senses heat. So if it doesn't sense heat, it should shut the gas off immediately. So there we go, the gas safety certificate's all done. It's a nice easy one. There's a few recommendations we're going to give to the landlady. And on to the next one.